On this edition of The Point of View, we interview Dr. Anthony Nsiah-Sarri, a presidential advisor on health. Kindly subscribe to The Point of View YouTube channel for other insightful interviews and discussion. Hi, you're welcome to The Point of View. The Point of View is your favorite current affairs program on television. On The Point of View, we select the right topic, get the relevant guests, ask the relevant questions, and we leave you with insights at the end of the day. My name is Salom Adunu, sitting in for your regular host, Bernard Koku-Afflet. Tonight, we are looking at the subject of Agenda 111. Government in 2020, at the height of the COVID pandemic, promised to build some 88 district hospitals in districts where did not have hospitals or district hospitals, and some 6 regional hospitals for the newly created regions of our country. After a number, all in 1 year, after a number of months, the Agenda 88, as it used to be called, now became Agenda 111. It was expanded, still to be built in 12 months. As we speak, it's been about 3 years after that promise was made by His Excellency the President, and we are yet to actually see 1 or 2 of those projects completed, handed over and being used by the people. Tonight, we want to track the progress of that audacious government project called Agenda 111. What is the funding for it? What is the status of those projects? Are the chiefs and people of the areas benefiting from these projects happy? Do we have matters of land litigation, which has become very commonplace in our society today? What are the teething problems, and what are your expectations really about these hospitals? Do you think that this government can complete these hospitals in its time? What has happened also to the uncompleted facilities or hospitals that we spoke about some time ago? I mean, which was replete in the media some time ago. Government says it's completed quite a number of them, but what really is the status? These and few other things we will look at tonight with a very knowledgeable guest, a guest who's been around for quite a while and has been involved in a number of things. I'll introduce him to you after this short break. Once again, you're welcome. The show really is interactive. You can join us via our WhatsApp lines, which will be displayed on the screen in a bit, and also on Facebook or on our socials, and we'll be happy to read out your comments to the rest of the world. Once again, you're welcome. We'll be right back. Hi, you're welcome back to The Point of View. Tonight, we are looking at the subject of health infrastructure. In 2020, government launched a very ambitious health sector project, the biggest in the history of this country, called it Agenda 88 at the time. President Akufo-Addo, on April 26, in one of his COVID broadcasts, I think the 8th or so, promised to build 88 hospitals, which were to be completed within 1 year, which meant that by 26th of April 2021, all these 88 hospitals, the district hospitals, plus 6 regional hospitals and a refurbished Ifeanyi Nkwanta hospital in the Western region were supposed to have been completed and serving the people in the various communities and districts across the country. That ambitious project became known as the Ghana Health Infrastructure Project, better known as the Agenda 111 project. Tonight we are tracking what has become of that. So when the president launched that project, a lot of people were happy. Others too thought that it was not feasible. Indeed, one of those persons was Inusaf Husseini, who thought who actually told us on the big issue on May 3, 2020, that Akufo-Addo's 94 hospitals was a political hospital promise was a political gimmick. We'll go into that. In May of that year, we understood that the construction of 88 new district hospitals were to begin in July, and that is attributed to the president. Later in the following year, 2021, we understood that government had secured some $100 million as startup fund for the Agenda 111 hospital project. The project was eventually launched on August 17, 2021 at Trede in the Atrima Kwamoma district of the Ashanti region, and that was the very first project. We'll find out today where that project has reached and whether that is the farthest in terms of its stage in all the 111 projects. My guest tonight is served at various levels of the health structure in our country. He was the Chief Executive Officer of the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. He became the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, and now he is the Presidential Advisor on Health. Very, very important position there. My guest is Dr. Anthony Insiasare. Doc, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Solon.
It's a pleasure to have you. I know you've been crisscrossing the country in your effort to monitor the progress of work on the Agenda 111 projects. You know, how is the project going, and how will you describe the progress so far?
Thank you very much, Solon, and good evening to our cherished viewers and listeners. Yes, since 31st of May, 2023, we'll be monitoring the Agenda 111 project, which in my mind is one of the most unprecedented health infrastructure projects in the whole world.
In the whole world?
Yes.
Wow.
I haven't seen any government in the whole world starting hospital infrastructure or health infrastructure the magnitude of 111 hospitals, made up of 101 district or primary hospitals, 3 psychiatric hospitals, 7 regional hospitals. If you add all together, it's 111. And it's not only in 1 or 2 or 3 regions. They are found in all the 16 regions. All the 16. In fact, the region of the least number of the projects, maybe Western North, has 4. 3 district hospitals and 1 regional hospital.
Why just 4? Is it because the region is small?
Yeah,
or
the region is very small.
Okay, and it's not because they have district hospitals, they already have district hospitals?
There are some of the district hospitals.
Okay.
So what the whole idea about Agenda 111, as you rightly said, I think one of the 8 fellow Ghanaians that the president did, after Ghana Health Service, Ministry of Health have gone around, we were charged that they should go around and find out the districts without hospitals in this country. And out of the 260 districts, which is now 261 because of Guan, what it means, the 88 of the districts didn't have anything that you can think of as a fit-for-purpose district hospital. If you look at our structure, health structure you run in this country, there are 5-tier structure of health services in this country. We have the basic health services, that's the community health planning system, the CHIPS system, which are equated to maybe polling station level. I mean, not more than 5,000 people in the community.
Okay.
And then we have the sub-districts, which is like the electoral area. So that's where we have the health centers, maternity homes, some few private hospitals in the urban communities. And then we have the first primary referral center, which is supposed to be the district hospital. That's where you can find a doctor, you can have operation done there, even though we are doing some few operations in some polyclinics and some private sectors are doing. So if you are not very careful, and we had it in a lot of the districts where there are no private health facilities there, with a health doctor there may be a whole district without a single doctor. A district of about 140,000 people without a single doctor, medical doctor or medical dentist, a dentist for that matter. It will be manned by a physician assistant, some midwives. And then we have the 4th tier, which is we call it regional hospital, it's the secondary referral center where you can have specialists, general specialists, and maybe some other super specialists also there. And then we have the big boys and girls, which are the teaching hospitals and the specialized hospitals. So this is a 5-tier system that you run in this country. And then when Ghana Health Service did the survey, they found out that 88 of the 260 districts at that time didn't have any what you can call state-of-the-art district hospital.
So all these surveys were done in the COVID period?
During the COVID period.
Okay.
The reason being that, COVID opened everybody up, not only Ghana, the whole world. Everybody was taken unawares. There are areas where people were being treated in ambulances, in makeshift structures. And we realized Ghana, we were also hit because we are a lower middle income economy. That's the time that we realized that we should find out which districts don't have hospitals. That's why the president came out to announce that he's going to make sure that during the rest of the term that he has, he's going to make sure all the 88 districts will have a fit-for-purpose, state-of-the-art hospitals to serve as a first primary referral center. That's why we started with Agenda 88. But after sitting down together at the National COVID-19 Task Force, which the president chaired throughout the period, we realized that there are some of the districts, even though they have something which we call district hospital, not fit to be called a district hospital. They started at a health post, and then it was then Christian Health Center, and then later on we added some few structures. And if you realize it, some of these hospitals, when you go there, even going from the theater to the main ward, the patient has to come out. When it's ready, they have to keep the patient in the theater or in the ward, waiting for the rains to subside. That you cannot call a hospital. If you enter any proper hospital, there's a flow. There's a system in place that everybody follows. So we added on till we got 101 districts that we have to put this hospital. There are also some districts where, because of the nature of the district, the span of the district, if you put the district hospital in the district capital, the other people in the other part of the district will struggle. They will not get the effect of the district hospital. So those places got another district hospital. So when you added on, we got the 101 district hospitals. And then we realized that there are new regional hospitals which don't have any regional or secondary referral center. That's the 6 new regions. So the president said that let's add them to it and do 160 beds, or depending on the population, so that they all have a secondary referral center. And then the president during the tour also said he will let Takoradi have fit-for-purpose, state-of-the-art regional hospital. So we added Takoradi to it so that Ifye Kwanta will be refurbished as a specialist hospital or a metropolitan hospital for secondary Takoradi, which is ongoing now. And then, because we were thinking holistically and the president understood what we were talking about and accepted it, we realized that in this country, if you look at it properly, all the psychiatric hospitals are on the coast. I don't think your mind has come to that.
That's true. So Pantan,
Asalam Down, and then Ankafu.
That's true.
So, for example, sometimes you meet school and nursing training school buses coming all the way from Jirapa, all the way from Wa, all the way from Raura, coming for just affiliation or rotation of psychiatry for our 6 weeks. They all come to either Ankafu or Pantan. If you look at Accra Psychiatric Hospital, which was built in the 1914 or so, it's run down. It's in the middle of Accra. And that is not what a face of Accra should be.
So it was actually called Asylum.
So Asylum.
We give the name
and
Asylum
now,
down to the place.
And now mental facilities or psychiatric facilities are not Asylum anymore. They are supposed to manage very complex cases. So we decided that then add these 3. We cannot put regional psychiatric hospitals across the country. So let's put one in the middle belt. So we are having one at Onwe in the Bosomtwi municipality in Ashanti region to serve the middle belt, so that Ankafu and Pantan Hospital will serve the southern or coastal belt, and then another one in Tamale, which also will serve the Tamale belt. So if you add all together, it becomes 101 hospitals. So the government then said that, look, we want to use our own resources through COVID fund, which government attracted from World Bank, to start, if for nothing at all, the district hospitals. So we started using, we are giving $100 million to start, to give mobilization to contractors to go to site to do the 101 district hospitals, plus the 2 psychiatric hospitals. So the Accra Psychiatric Hospital and then the 7 regional hospitals were supposed to be then done through external funding, what you call EPC plus funding. and that has to go through a process. Luckily, the Ministry of Health had already contracted a foreign contractor who was bringing in funds to do some of the hospitals for them. So they took up the Takoradi Regional Hospital in the Western region and also Fiekwanta Rehabilitation. And the Ministry of Health said they will also take over the Oti Regional Hospital, so that 5 of them will come directly under the Agenda 111 project, which has a special system that we are using for the construction and for the award of contract and everything. So that's the reason why the Agenda 88 changed to Agenda 111.
Okay, but yes, so very good background you've given. But what was the level of expert involvement in this project? Because some persons who have spoken feel that it's a super project, but it appears too ambitious, and so it runs the risk of not being completed. And indeed, we were told that it will take 1 year, but we are in the 3rd year, going to the 4th year, and we've not really seen the full completion of any. So, for example, Professor of Epidemiology at the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor Eric Newton-Binker, raised some issues with the implementation of the project as a measure for, to prepare for pandemics. And he said that that's a great idea, and I'm quoting, but why shouldn't we just say, okay, this year we will build 20, next year we'll build 20 till we get to 111. So far we haven't built any. When is the first one going to finish? I mean, this is a legitimate question.
The question I will ask Professor Binker, my friend and my brother, is that building hospital is not over a day, or over a week, or over a year.
Yes, but you told us you build it in a year.
I'm coming. Yes, the president said that we will start the hospital and build it over 1 year. You also remember the president came back and said that he has realized that starting the hospital took some time. You know that the sword was cut on the 17th of August 2021. So 17th of August 2022, about 2 years. We are going through, we won't have to go through a process, because I'll give you some.
So exactly the concern of many, because
yes,
at the point of making that announcement on
yes.
the 26th of April or so,
yes.
Ordinarily we would have thought that the president would have crossed his T's and dotted his I's, so that when you are making a statement, the statement is taken seriously. And if you tell us it's going to take 1 year, then we know that you did your homework, all those things have been done, land acquisition, you know the process. So 1 year on, or a little over 1 year after, you come and tell us that, there were issues here and there. 2020, August 2021, that is when the project itself was being launched, when it should have been completed by April of that year. So that is the difficulty, and that's
yes,
the point.
You announced.
That's a concern.
Yes, you announced. For example, I'll give you some dates. August 2020, the project announcement was made by the president, as you rightly said.
April
2020. October 2020, the agreement of Agenda 111 project consultant, because we have divided the country into 7 zones. So we have site supervising consultants. We have a project consultant, which coordinates all the site supervising consultants. Their agreement was reached and signed on the October 2020 for the appointment. So they started working. They have to do the drawings. They have to come out of the initial drawings and everything. So on June 2020 to June 2021, the project development, design, and tender activities should all take place. To go to PPA, we have to do this and all these things. And luckily, on August 17, 2021, the president cut the first sword. So if you are talking about 1 year, the 1 year will start from August 2021, not from the time that announcement was made.
No, he said the project would be completed after 1 year of making the announcement.
No.
That was what
I
the
don't
president
think that's what the
told
president
us.
said.
And indeed, at the time, it was 2020, April.
Yes.
And the concern was, no, you have an election to run,
yes.
and who even knows that you're going to win the next election?
Yes.
So the thinking was April 2020, at least by 2021, April, the project should be completed. He never told us that was just an announcement. The project was going to start the following year. So
remember the president came back in one of the State of Nation address, the fellow Ghanaians also said that he is going to do when he did the sword cutting, also mentioned it, that the project all over with this symbolic sword cutting of the project starts. So project starts at sword cutting, or the beginning of when the president announced that the project has started. So the announcement which the president made, remember when he made the announcement, it was 88. So we have to meet and say that no, if you want to do it properly, this is how it's supposed to be done. So, I mean, the most important thing for all of us as Ghanaians to know is that, is the project going on? Is it going on smoothly? Yes. That's the most important thing. Can we finish the project?
So there's a quote here.
Yeah.
So there are 88 districts in our country
Yes.
without hospital, which you said, etc.
Yes.
That is why government has decided to undertake a major investment in our healthcare infrastructure, the largest in our history.
Yes.
We will, this year, begin constructing 88 hospitals in the districts without hospitals. So this was how he announced it, you know, during one of his COVID.
What do you define as you will begin the construction?
Of course, if it's 1 year.
If you want to begin construction of a project, it starts
with the contract.
With the contract,
and
with the design of everything before you go to the field.
But so did the design. So all of that was to take 1 year.
Yes. So let him tell you something. So the designs. As I gave you this from the June 20th. That time he has made an announcement on the April. That's 2 months after. The project development, design, and tender activities took 1 year. Maybe if you go to one of the project sites, you see the sort of project that we are putting up. The sort of
it's a great project. I love
Have you
it.
seen one before?
No, I've just seen the drawings.
We'll show you the pictures. Maybe they have to run the pictures if you have.
Very well. We love it. But you see, my difficulty was, or what difficulty a lot of people have is that we give dates that we cannot, follow through. So, for example, very outlandish example, let me give. National Cathedral, for example, we say we'll build it in 4 years.
I'm not talking about.
No, I know.
I'm not talking about National Cathedral.
That's why I said it's an outlandish,
Yes.
example.
Yes.
But it fits into the same thing we are saying. National Cathedral, others built it with a number of years, 10, 20, 40, others 100 years.
Yes.
We said, quite a poor country, we said we'll do it in 4 years. Building 111 hospitals. Until date, we keep saying we'll do it in 12 months.
The start of the construction.
Yes.
You see, we have some of them, we have about 2 contractors, some have 3, some have 4. Each of the phase of the contractor has a construction period. Some have 18 months, some have 12 months, some have 15 months.
So these are nuances you are now putting into it. But that wasn't what we were told.
But you see, you make an announcement. The argument I'm putting up here that is the construction going on? Yes. Shall we finish the construction? Yes. How many are going on? That's the reason why we are going around. So maybe if you allow me,
okay.
If you see the arguments you are doing is a political, this is a fluke.
Yes.
It is not a fluke. It's happening.
Okay.
If you like, I think if you listen to on Monday, we had a town hall meeting at Pasa.
Yes,
and I'm sure you listened to it.
Yes, you were from, and then you talked about the
and you saw
what
the chief said. The people who are going to benefit from it. That to me is what Ghanaians should look at. But just argument that you say you do it 1 year, you do this, and there are some people who build hospital for 34 years.
Yes, but it's important.
There are some people who build hospital for years that they can't finish.
But you think it's not important if
I believe that you shouldn't stress that too much.
It's important because it's accountability, and it is what we tell the people that you'll be held accountable to. So look at this. One of your colleagues, Inus Afuseni, is a politician. He says, and he said this in 2020, a few weeks after the president made the announcement. He said it is 88 district hospitals and 6 regional hospitals.
Yes.
But to be honest, it may sound nonsensical. That is why the people of Ghana are raising concerns. A lot of people are taken aback because Nana Akufo-Addo, within the beginning of this year and the ending of last year, introduced loans to Parliament for the construction of hospitals. And after the fulfillment of the condition precedent, the projects were going to be completed within 24 months. That is not 1 year, but 2. So you have a president who released cabinet memo that said that the construction of the hospitals will take a minimum of 2 years, comes to make a promise that he will do them in a year. If it's not political gimmick, then I don't know what it is. So that's exactly the point.
As in Inusa Fuseni, I'm sure it's in Tamale or he travels to Tamale. He passed.
But is this a legitimate concern?
I don't think it is legitimate concern.
That the president tells
it
us
is
it will
when,
take a
for
year.
example, president talks about it and nothing is being done. Yes. But if the president talks about it and he has put his mind and everybody's on it, that's the reason I told you I just returned from for the past 1 week. We've been touring Volta region and OT, and then we went even to the eastern corridor of northern region. We went to Pandai and Wolensi and came back. So maybe he can join us. We'll go around and then
be happy.
See,
we'll be happy.
And then, I mean, my friend, my brother, Inusa Fuseni, to go around of us and see what is happening throughout the country. So it is not a political gimmick.
All right. So this is the president on your screen,
yes,
saying that our initial schedule for Agenda 111 was overly ambitious. You
yes.
know, that's it. You know, that's an admission the president has made. But
yes.
I think so it fits into how Inusa Fuseni's concern, Professor Binker's concern, and all of that. That's why people think that it was made in an election year to whip up a certain interest in the president's government and party to win the election. Now, after the election, then we are now being told, after the scales have fallen off, that it was overly ambitious. So now we're going to take our time to do it. That
is their opinion. But after the election, is the construction going on? Is the project moving on? Is it moving on satisfactory? So that's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay,
today.
so tell me about the Trade one, the very first one that the president launched.
So the one is about, I mean, what's the 62 trade at Wakwangma. When we went there on the 14th of August, it was 61%.
Okay, 16th of August?
Yes, 61%.
61%.
And as we speak now, I'm sure they are entering about 70%.
Okay.
There are 3 contractors there.
Just after 1 month,
they are moving on very, very fast.
I see.
Very, very fast.
It means there's funding for it.
Yes.
Because other projects we know have stalled because we hear COVID and DDEP.
You can also ask any of the contractors. The contract in such a way that once you work and you present an interim payment certificate, it's paid. I'll give you what one of the contractors said, that he put in his certificate.
Okay. 2
weeks, he got his money. And he's on that project and he's moving. Like,
so it means a priority project.
It's a priority
The money's
project. It's a priority project. You know, we are paying for this project through a special purpose vehicle. What you call health gift.
So there's a gift. A gift, part of the gift that you dedicated to health.
From ABFA, if you know ABFA, yes. It's oil money. Anytime we lift oil, there's a percentage of ABFA. The
annual budget funding amount.
Yes, annual budget funding amount, which goes to gift, health gift, which is a special purpose vehicle, which is used to pay the contractors. And I can tell you that the contractors are so happy.
Do you have a sense of how much all of these projects will cost, the 111? Do you have that figure offhand?
Yes.
Because we understand one will going to cost 17 million US dollars.
A typical hospital will be about 17 million US dollars.
So that multiplied by 100.
Yes, and we are moving on. If you look at it, you see, if you are putting up, you are doing a construction, because the contractors will not finish in a day, you don't put the money in the bank waiting that they will use it. It is when the contractor brings certificates and they are paid. You say that the work has stalled. When you go to the site, you don't see any workers on site. You don't see any materials on site. And then the contractor has abandoned the place. You go and see only a watchman watch. That is not what these projects are doing. As we speak now, all the projects which we didn't have any site issues, no site problem, about 85 or 88 of them or so are now all moving on very fast. There are other ones which will have site problems, like the size of the land, the topography of the land, and also we also hit the problem of no site at all. There are some few of the districts that we are still having problems of no site. For example, Accra. There's supposed to be one at Kolegono, Kolekoloti.
Okay.
They have not been able to
give
us
any
site.
Close to Odona, or the Odo River, where the onion sellers or some people were before.
Yes, that's Agogoloshi.
Yes.
Agogoloshi, we have the land by Agogoloshi because of what was the activities which was going on there. We are liaising with EPA to make sure that the place is well done.
But you see, that's another difficulty. Should it necessarily be like a 1D, 1F kind of thing? So look at Osuklote with a number of facilities already. There's Ridge Hospital there, a secondary facility. There's Adabraka Polyclinic. There are a number of facilities, including private ones, is it very, very important to cite one of those district hospitals in a place which is struggling to even get patients because of the numbers? I mean, a lot of private hospitals, a lot of public hospital, or government facilities in Osuklote. Is it necessary to put another district hospital there for the sake of it?
And maybe you have to understand what health systems are all about. I told you earlier that we have a 5-tier system. The number of private hospitals is very important, but there's supposed to be a municipal or a district hospital, which is a referral center, even for all the private facilities which are over there. I think you are the same people who complain that Kolebu is overflowing with patients. There's no bed syndrome.
There's a polyclinic there, but that's another.
There's no bed. There's no beds for patients. You go to Ridge. Ridge is overflowing with patients because everybody is going to Ridge. Ridge is supposed to be a secondary referral center. So when you have all these district hospitals, so the private hospitals you are talking about, they may not be able to admit more than 5 patients. What is the population of Abilikuma, Abilikuma Central? What's the population there? What is the catchment area? If you look at the area, the Akuman and the rest are supposed to go there. So they need a district hospital.
Very well.
And the second point is that if you think that...
You say that after the break. Sorry. My guest is Dr. Anthony Insiasari, a very important person in the health architecture of our country today. He's been a former, he's been a chief executive of the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, Director General of the Ghana Health Service, and now he's a presidential advisor on health. We are delving into the matter of the Agenda 111, and he thinks that they are moving steadily. He's just from a trip to OT where he went to check some of the projects, and he's happy about the progress of work so far. I will take a short break. When we come back, we'll find out from him how many of these hospitals he thinks can be completed before 2024, and we'll deal with some of the problems associated with that. This is a point of view. We'll be right back.
How do I cope with this heat?
By staying 5 degrees cooler.
Body odor is caused by germs, and on hot days, the sweating and the odor are more. That's why you need to get the new improved Dettol Cool Soap, which offers up to 5 degrees instant cooling sensation.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to the point of view. We are looking at the Agenda 111 with Dr. Anthony Insiasari. Dr. Anthony Insiasari, former Director General Ghana Health Service, former Chief Executive Officer of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Komfanochi Teaching Hospital.
Former Medical Director of Tamale Teaching Hospital.
Tamale Teaching Hospital. Wow, former Medical Director of Tamale Teaching Hospital. He's done quite a bit in the system. And he does some politics too. I mean, one of the first things you hear in the health policy class is that health is politics. So he understands the politics by the way he's answering the questions and all of that, you could see. And the way he tried to deal with the 5-tier health system, liking the basic one to police station, the district to electoral area, and all of that. You know that he understands the politics too. He's my guest. Now, Doc, many people think that the government will leave Ghanaians with a lot of uncompleted projects. So that's why people think that if you took a number, you are sure to complete it with the funding etc. available, you complete them. Now we have 111 hospitals across the country at varying levels of completion. It could so happen that you finish some before the tenure of this government comes to an end, but it's very likely that quite a sizable number of them will be left for the next government to continue. Of course, government is a continuum, we are told. How many of these hospitals, realistically speaking, and from your monitoring across the country, do you think you can complete before 2024 ends?
Yes, we will come here. We'll have a press briefing after all our rounds. We've so far gone to 59 sites.
59.
We are yet to go to the 5 northern regions, and then we'll complete it, and then maybe 1 or 2 in Bono East and also in Eastern region. Then we'll be able to tell you how we have faced the completion of these Agenda 111 hospitals. And I have to quickly add that the regional hospitals, apart from the Takoradi one, which has started, the others, we are going through a process of procurement. Because I told you that it's EPC, it's external procurement, construction, and funding. So it goes through a process. The process is now at the Ministry of Finance. They are looking at the value for money of the people who have brought in their bids and everything, and then go to Cabinet again, and you go to Parliament for the external funding. So you can put that one. We are hoping that that one can be completed as quickly as possible, taking into consideration the IMF conditionalities and everything. The second point is that out of the 101 district hospitals plus the 2 regional psychiatric hospitals, for Accra Psychiatric Hospital is also external funding plus external procurement, construction, and plus funding. So as we speak now, as I said, yes, that's what I was on when the break came. There are 3 issues which is happening why some of the construction have not started. For example, there are some areas or some districts that we earmark which there's no land at all. And I give you an example of Kolekulote. And you rightly said, in the cities, in the municipalities like Accra, if we don't have land, for example, at Kolekulote, we know that there's a Adabraka Polyclinic, which we will look at later on, and is doing some work. And then the other hospitals, Accra is just a compact area, and they are district hospitals. And then Nungua also have a problem. Dakuman, Ablekuma East also has a problem. And then there were other areas where we couldn't get the 15-acre for the one stack building. So what the consultants have helped us to do, that we have to do a double stack for such areas. For example, Ayawaso, West Wugon, Nima, Adenta, Tema West. If you go to Tema West, a very huge community of no health facilities in some of the places. And then there are other areas where we started. The contractor went to site to clear the site, and then we hit rocks, which will be very difficult. You see, the rocks that we hit, for example, at Adeso, at the mining areas, you know, it's in the good book Bible, the Bible. It says that I'll build my church on rocks. But those are solid rocks.
Okay.
But the rocks at this place are alluvial rocks, where when you hit it, you just drop it, it will break.
Okay.
And going through such rocks is also very dangerous for any building like that. So there's a lot of cutting, and then they've now come out with how they can do it and put the building there. Like Akrofrum, like Obuasi East at Kwabrakwa, that one we have even relocated the building from the old place to where there are no rocks. And then a place like Adesu. There are some other places like Jiasikan. You remember Jiasikan was very much on the news. Yeah. We went there 2 days on Friday. Because Jiasikan was in the news, that Jiasikan is this, there's nowhere going on. As I speak now, all the 4 contractors on site are actively working at 14%.
But why were they not working before? They didn't have money?
Yeah, we have to cut the land.
Okay.
Every contractor who has been given the contract and was supposed to go to site was given 10% mobilization.
Okay.
So Jiasikan issue, Adesu issue, because of the land topography, they all have their mobilization, but they continuously, for example, Adesu and Kwabrakwa are cutting, and now we stop them, and they are doing this. So the consultants have now they've come up with a double stack building for the areas where we didn't have the 15-acre land. And these areas are yet clearing the land, and they are yet to start. But as we speak now, about 83 or 86 of, we will get to know it when we go around, we finish going around, of the district hospitals have started earnestly. Some of them have reached 60%, 60 something percent. And you know, when they put on the roofing, some of them have roof, some of them are plastering. As we speak now, there's also even the oxygen piping, which is about to start. Some of them have started doing the external works. And if you go there and then you see the work that they are doing, and I've always looked at sites which are working, of the number of workers on site, of the amount of materials on site, and of the enthusiasm of the contractors who are also supervising the work and then the consultants. That's the reason why when we finish all these rounds, we will then come and sit down. Now, you know, we are doing phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. We will sit down, put all together, because when you go to site, the contractors, the chiefs and the people are on site, plus the district assembly and everybody, and the contractors themselves give when they are going to finish the job. Some of them have given us at the end December 2024. Some of them have given us the first quarter of next year, and those who have not done so fast, they've not gone far because there were some problems, have given us the end of second quarter of next year. So we are going to phase it out that the first batch will finish, the construction will finish by the first quarter of next year. We are now doing the procurement of equipment, process for procurement of equipment. Then the equipment we put in, I have in front of me the request for the number of people who are going to work in the hospital, so that we ask the financial clearance. We have started discussing with the Ministry of Finance. And then for the first quarter of next year, those which finish in December 2020, by December 2024, 2023, will be equipped. But
the important point, do we have the human resource to fill these 111 facilities when they are all done? Because I think a former general secretary of your association, the GMA, titles Bayu also said it was a fantastic idea, that Agenda 111, but government should not only be looking at the infrastructure. They should look at the human resource. It takes, so the doctor is very important. It takes not less than 6 years to train a doctor, and about 3-4 years to specialize. And whilst you can build it in 12 months, you cannot just do that in a very short time. So do we have the human resource to take up those roles?
It's partly wrong. It's partly wrong. It's not that
we don't use 6 years to train doctors.
We use 6 years to train doctors. But he also will agree with me that the distribution of doctors in this country is very much inequitable. But 48% of all doctors in this country are in Greater Accra.
But yes, that's a problem. It's same for everything. Lawyers, all professionals.
That is one. Two.
And that is a bigger conversation.
Yes, a bigger conversation.
Economy, development, etc.
Thank you.
And I'm not sure we are about to solve that.
So this is one of the development in this country. We are now putting up state-of-the-art, fit-for-purpose hospitals across the country. Let me give you an example.
So for example, if you transfer me to maybe Jessica, because it has come up, maybe it will be difficult for somebody to go to Jessica because I'm a doctor, I'm trained. I want my children to attend the best of schools. I want a few things for myself and my family. Where you place the facility, maybe I do not have those things there. And so that would be a disincentive. So I may not want to go. So it's not just about the hospital being there, but are the social amenities there, and is the area good enough to receive me and to further my ambitions or aspirations as a person in life?
You see, Salom, then from the argument you are putting forward, you should stop training doctors, because we have enough doctors at where the amenities are in Accra, in Kumasi. They have more than enough doctors there.
But it's always been the case, and we've not been able to.
So if you are not very careful, every citizen of this country will move from wherever the person is to come to hospital in the cities. That's why we are having a lot of patients who don't have beds in the hospitals. I'm a doctor. I've worked. You didn't even finish mentioning where I've worked.
Your CV there.
I've worked as a medical superintendent in the district hospital in Ofinso. From there, I went to Tamale. Worked there as a medical director. Then we started the medical school before I came to Komfo-Anokye. And then I ended up at Ghana Health Service, and now that's what I'm doing. Every doctor, every staff, first and foremost, yes, you need to also think about your family. So there are pull and push factors. Once you start putting up these hospitals, well equipped, maybe better even equipped than a hospital maybe in Kumasi where we are working. Every doctor, every nurse, every health worker wants to go to a place where he will get the equipment to work and then save patients. The next thing is, if I go there, what is in it for me? And to me, that is what my young brother or my nephew, Titus, should be talking about. That once you put the hospital there, the next thing we should go with it is proper equipped and then well-finished accommodation apart from the equipment. And then once you are putting the accommodation, which are called the hospital medical village, you should make sure that any young doctor maybe starting the family has a young child that will go to nursery, go to kindergarten.
So there'll be those facilities there.
Immediately our children finish JHS and they are moving to senior high school, they all leave the house. We don't see them again.
So it's a basic level.
So it's the basic level which is very important. And my belief is that anywhere we put this hospital, we should try as much as possible to put something like a medical village with a nursery.
So that's what you are thinking, but is that in the plan?
That is we are now thinking about, because now, after putting up this Agenda 111, after getting that amount of land, we've put some accommodation there for maybe senior staff. But my strongest conviction is that, which we have discussed with His Excellency the President, which he also said it's a brilliant idea. There are private sector people who want to do such a thing in our hospitals in the rural areas.
But you're not thinking about that. But the projects have taken off.
Yes. Now putting up such buildings don't take any long length of time. So once you have
that takes money, and that's not in the original budget.
But if it's a PPP, you don't. It's not government whose money they are coming to you. Somebody wants to come and put this thing up, do build, operate, and transfer. So the only thing which comes in, which I believe, my friend Titus is no more the General Secretary. She would think about.
It also be like you.
Yes, I know. She will be thinking about is that, look, let's sit down now and see what incentives will it be for us to move into these rural communities.
Very well.
One is accommodation, free accommodation. Two, incentives like a school,
free utilities.
Yes, school and everything there for our children. So if you are a child, a young family, your child is within the 4 walls of the medical village. You know where your child is. Even making sure that the teachers who will teach will be part of the people who are staying on the compound. You train your children well for you. You don't have to be struggling and bothering yourself with fuel and all these things. We all did it. In Tamale, when I was in Tamale.
You were in a medical village of a kind?
No, I was not in a medical village, but fuel, that time when I was there, we save fuel, we save cost.
I see.
And the time that your children are old and they go to school, then you can say, and then once you do this and you put a proper hospital in place,
the local economy grows.
It can also train people.
And it grows the local economy.
And it grows the local economy. In fact, when we did the town hall meeting, there are a lot of things which are happening within the community at Pasa. First, even during the construction, the amount of work that has been created for the local people, artisans, masons, electricians, laborers, and even women selling water and food for the workers who are working there.
So Obiabe Didi, everybody is enjoying.
A chief told us at one place that since Agenda 111 started and their people got job to do, there's less family fights that he has to settle.
I see. This is the point of view. Dr. Insia Sari, Presidential Advisor on Health, is our guest. We're looking at Agenda 111. We will come back and look at other issues. Once he's here, there are a lot of health issues. We have the last lap of the program to go. We'll let him address issues of nurses, exodus or migration and all of that. He will have a word to say on that. He was the boss at the Ghana Health Service. Tell us what he did about that and what is happening in that area. We'll be right back and we'll read some of your messages that have come through us, so don't go away.
With Global, you order anything you want, and when you receive it, you celebrate it with your whole body. Because when that tasty grilled chicken is here, the weekend starts. The ingredients for your favorite recipe just in time. And when the cake arrives, the party is on. Because receiving anything on Global deserves a dance. Download the app, order anything you want, and track it minute by minute until it arrives. Global. Order anything, we deliver in minutes.
Finally, anyone can become a house owner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You Go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated values, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. You Go Flip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
You're welcome back to the point of view. A few of your messages that have been coming through. This one says the La General Hospital, which served the people of La Osu, Teshi, and Ngwa area, was demolished by this government. So they did no construction work. This from Prince Derek J. It says La Polyclinic during yesterday's rain had 8 wards and offices leaking and flooded. Wet patients and damaged equipment were evacuated. This one, Dauda Abubakar, says, good evening, watching live from Timpani constituency. Leonardo, thank you for the Agenda 111 project. This one says, is there a problem with the La General Hospital land? Is the project going on? No, he says, ask Dr. Nana Ekwamwabwat in the second, says, ask Dr. Insia Asari about the exodus of nurses and doctors in the country. What are they doing about it as a political party in power? Doc, so you wanted to finish something?
Yeah, what I wanted to finish is that apart from the immediate socioeconomic development in the area where the people are getting their daily bread, when the work is finished, it will attract a lot of people into the community. Communities where hitherto there were only the natives which are there. And then it also will open up. Anybody who is coming to put up an industry there will look if there's a hospital facility there. That's how communities developed. And to me, that's what is happening in Germany. You see a hospital in a rural area in a thick forest, but it attracts a lot of people there, and investment continues to grow.
Talk to me about maintenance of existing facilities. We just read that the La Polyclinic, for example, is leaking. Yeah, what's the plan for
unfortunately, when I was chief executive of Komfanochi and also Tamale, we were supposed to use part of our budget for planned preventive maintenance, which may not be happening. Because you don't have to wait for a whole roof to fall off before. That one can be done by the hospital management.
So you're saying that the maintenance could be done by the hospital
the small management. You don't have to,
government per se.
You see, you don't have to wait that a government building start falling on you before you maintain it. If once you start...
If it's not being done, government has a responsibility to make sure that it is done. So if it's a policy or you meet them, you tell them this is what you have to do, we'll come around to check.
First and foremost, management of that hospital has a responsibility that any facility given to you to run, and that is government or no government, you are supposed to maintain it. Private hospitals are put up.
So the goods and services money doesn't come.
Yes, but that's the reason that we have to sit down very well with whoever is paying for hospital services to make sure that the reimbursement should also take part and then cover also maintenance.
So there you have NHIs. NHI is not paying.
That's the main payer.
So they are running.
NHI is paying. The NHI chief executive came out to tell us how much they've paid so far. To me, the most important thing is that we have to have a second look on our budgetary, especially in the health facilities, our budgetary management and how we make sure that we follow our budget to the letter.
What's happening to the La General Hospital? It's almost like a park.
Yeah, unfortunately,
a few weeks ago, the locals demonstrated to the place. I know you know that. What's happening to the place?
What I know that I think the minister had a press briefing recently.
Said they were going to add it to the Agenda 111. So now it's 112?
Yes. So the president has directed that we should add La to Agenda 111.
So now it's 112.
Yes. So as you are aware, you know that I've said that there are some of the areas that we haven't have any land. So it will be one of the areas we will take up in addition.
So when the people are watching and they demonstrate, they really want to know when will work start? You
We
have
wish
the
it
timelines?
starts tomorrow.
Okay.
But the problem is that, there's a contractor who had a document, who is holding a contract document. It was there's supposed to be external funding. It couldn't come. Then the IMF came in. Some of the contractors pulled out even before IMF. So it's a whole complicated system. And the president has ordered that we should add it to Agenda 111. So we are going through the processes. Agenda 111, Agenda 111 has a specific project process. So the contractor has been met. The contract has, so Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance have to look at what the contractor think he has done before and what other things, commitment that he has made. But Agenda 111 project, we have to then re-award, and the contractor will be the first, will have the first offer to deny the if he doesn't,
first right of refusal.
So if he doesn't do it, then we give to another person.
Very well. We also understand
we are
that
hoping that we
you are
do
planning
it as quickly as
demolishing
possible.
the Nima Polyclinic.
We are
and
not.
the people say you
we
dare
are
not.
We are not demolishing Nima Polyclinic. Whoever has said that got it wrong.
Okay, so what are you doing?
We are putting Agenda 111 double stack building or story building at Nima. So there's a land behind it, which was illegally occupied by some people. That's why we were told. So we went and saw the land, about 5 to 7 acres. So we are starting the construction from there. You're not demolishing it.
Very well.
And
so
then
that's
the short buildings there, we clear it and put another construction there to flush it with the already building there. So work will be going on. We hold it off and then start the construction.
Very well. Talk to me about exodus of health professionals in 1 minute. What are you doing about it? It's getting alarming.
Exodus of health professionals.
It's always been the case, but we dealt with it some time ago, but it's come back
always
again.
been the case. This government, NPP government, dealt with it in the early 2000s. So we know what to do.
But you're not doing it.
We are doing it. You see, you cannot force anybody to stay in the country.
But you didn't force people then, but they stayed.
Because we instituted a lot of things.
Yes.
Like
they're giving them
car
loans
waiver
and all of those things.
We are talking about that because now there are cars which
residency training.
Yes,
et
residency training is also being given in Ghana. Let me tell you something. No doctor wants to go because he wants to go for money. Most doctors leave the country because they want to have quick residency training.
But nurses, they tell us that they are making more money. And
yes, they make more money. But there are some nurses there that I have met who have left and gone there, and they wish that they were here.
So your assurance is that government
so
is
my
working,
assurance is that government is working on it. The most important thing is that those who are also taking our nurses and this thing, what they are doing is also an ethical.
Yeah, it's unethical
extortion.
because they are
taking
extortion.
Really. It's extortion. That's what I would say. But we are working on it. That's the reason why, after the completion of Agenda 111, we want to increase the number of trainees.
Very well.
And we can train for them.
Very well.
Like
Very
footballers.
Well. I see.
And then
like the one you're doing for Barbados.
Yes.
Yes.
Like
we'll call you again. I mean, very insightful conversation with Dr. Anthony Insiasa, Presidential Advisor on Health. Thanks so much, Doc, for honoring our invitation. You just came from Motiba. We dragged you here and you graciously attended. My name is Selom Aduna, starting for a regular host, Bernard Able. Have a good evening.